Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome to another one of my videos where I take a look at all the new comic books coming out on either December 14th or 15th, 2021, and I ask myself the question, what one new comic book would I buy this week if I could buy just one book? Let's go ahead and start off this video by taking a look back to my pick from 2 weeks ago, which was The Department of Truth, issue number 14. And the question remains, was it a worthy and worthwhile pick to be my just one book pick of the week? And the answer is yes. Yes. I really like The Department of Truth. It's super heady, and I sometimes have to reread pages because I'm just like, my mind wanders, and I'm also trying to soak in every single detail that James Tynion IV is presenting in these pages and in this dialogue and with these images. It's sometimes a lot to process, but it's part of what I like about the Department of Truth. It wouldn't be for everybody, but what I like about it is that it challenges me to think. It challenges me to process these concepts that are alien to everyday life. And so I like that very much. The reason I'm not super enthusiastic about issue number 14 was that it promised to be the origin of the woman in red, and it was. They explained exactly where she kind of came from, but we still don't know very much about her, other than it seems that she wants to see the end of the world, it seems like. So there's a lot more information there. There's a lot more to process with this character. And so I'm looking forward to more of that. I mean, we're 14 issues in. We really haven't gotten much of it, but she is still a very pivotal character in the visual of the Department of Truth. So I'm looking forward to seeing more. It was a great issue, as they all are great issues. I enjoyed it, so I'm going to stick with it as a worthy and worthwhile pick for me, but I could see how the Department of Truth isn't for everybody. But if you are interested in a title that will really challenge you to think, then I highly recommend The Department of Truth for you. If you read The Department of Truth, let me know what you think about it. Issue number 14 specifically. I'd be interested to know what you think about it. Let me know down in the comments. All right, let's continue with the content of this video by taking a look at this week's books. First, we'll take a look at my 5 honorable mentions, then my just one book pick of the week. My first honorable mention is a new book called Batgirls, issue number 1 from DC. Here is the description. Hello? You didn't actually think we'd keep you waiting this entire year without giving you the Batgirls series you've been wanting for forever, right? That's not written well at all. Bad job, person who wrote that first sentence. No way, we love you too much. Just like Batgirls Cassandra Cain and Stephanie Brown, who are only able to navigate the dark, gritty, and oftentimes scary city of Gotham by leaning on the bright light that is their best friendship. Mentored by Oracle, the Batgirls move to the other side of town where Barbara Gordon can keep a better eye on them while the hacker Seer is still invading their lives. Steph may be too harsh sometimes, and Cass doesn't speak much, but what they lack in similarities, they make up for with their mutual respect and love for each other, and what makes them stronger together as Batgirls. And they may be good at kicking ass, but they are just trying their best to be normal teenagers who will borrow the keys to a muscle car that belonged to a bad guy and perhaps give it a joyride around town without a driver's license, then race to get back home to Oracle by curfew. Splashing the pages with bright colors against a dark backdrop of Gotham, Batgirls is the pizza slumber party of the year you don't want to miss. Or do you? This description is bad. Man, okay. The vibe I get from this title is that if you are like a rebellious teenage girl, this might be the book for you to check out. If you're not, this might be pretty annoying. And I read the Batgirls B stories that were in the Batman title proper. And so I got a sense of what this title is going to be, I suppose. It's two rebellious teenage girls doing their Batgirliest things that they can. I don't know. This is a slow week. I didn't mention this, by the way. This is not a great week for books. So I mentioned this book because it's a number one. So if you're a teenage girl and you want to be a little rebellious, you want some rebellious teenage girls to read about in your comic books, hey, here's the book for you. If you're not in that category, I just don't think this book is going to be for you. The next book that I want to mention is 'Tis the Season to be Freezin'. Issue number 1, it's a one-shot from DC. Here's the description. Oh, the weather outside is freezing, but these stories sure are pleasin'. So since you've no place to go, why not grab a sweater, pour a cup of hot cocoa, and stoke the fire, because these 10 tales are sure to lower the mercury. Join us as Harley Quinn and Blue Snowman ice out Hawkman. Batman fights the cold heart of Mr. Freeze. The JLQ don't stand a snowball's chance against Minister Blizzard. And the Flash and Superman team up to chill out Captain Cold. So warm your holiday heart with these freezing feats of frosty fiction. I only mention this book because it's Christmas time, not quite Christmas yet, and it's a Christmas themed book. So if you want a Christmas themed comic book, here you go. Other than that, I expected this to be just like a lot of these other kind of like collection of short stories end up being not very good because they don't tell very good stories. They just kind of have little snippets, little snapshots of moments of life from these characters, and these just all happen to be Christmas or snow themed. Once again, if you're looking for a great comic book this week, I would not pick up 'Tis the Season to be Freezing. But if you're looking for a stocking stuffer, maybe for that's Christmas themed for somebody in your life, and you want to give them this comic book, well, here's the Christmas themed comic book you might be looking for. The next book I want to mention is a new book. It's called No Holds Barred. Issue number 1. This is from Behemoth Comics. Here's the description. When Queen Elizabeth I is kidnapped, only the dramatic duo of William Shakespeare and William Page in their superhero alter egos, the Bard and Page, can save her. Written in iambic pentameter, No Holds Barred is a throwback comedy adventure 400 years in the making. Gail Simone says, quote, brilliantly written, gorgeously illustrated. This is why I am in love with comics, end quote. All right, I mentioned this one because I am a theater geek. I actually have a BFA in theater. I went to college and studied theater. And so the theater geek saw that there's this book about William Shakespeare and William Page. It's written in iambic pentameter. I was like, ooh, that sounds interesting. But to non-theater geeks, you might not be so interested. But this quote from Gail Simone is actually kind of, I would think, is helping the book a little bit for the non-theater geeks. When she says, brilliantly written, gorgeously illustrated, this is why I'm in love with comics. So they're taking a big swing with this, and I have to applaud people who take big swings, who take risks, who try things that other people aren't doing. And writing a comic book in iambic pentameter is a pretty big swing. You know, it could be a swing and a miss, or it could be a home run. So if you want to try something a little bit unusual, and maybe quite possibly entertaining, check out this book this week, No Holds Barred, issue number 1. The next book I am going to mention to you is Wastelanders, Wolverine, issue number 1 from Image Comics. Here's the description. Stephen S. DeKnight leads the return to the wastelands of Old Man Logan. The supervillains united and took out most of the world's superheroes decades ago. And while the man known as Logan attempted to live a life of peace, he had to pop the claws once again to do what he does best. But saving the day looks different with the baby Hulk under his care. Is Logan doing the right thing by protecting the progeny of the Hulk, or dooming what's left of the war-torn world? Logan may not have long to ponder if he is crushed by the adamantium armor of his newfound enemy, Downfall. Stephen S. DeKnight teams with fan-favorite artist Ibrahim Mustafa to tell an all-new story of Wolverine in the days after the conclusion of the original Old Man Logan, as he fights once again to save the people of the Wastelands who have been crushed under the heel of the Red Skull and Bruce Banner. Okay, as I'm reading this, I'm thinking to myself, this sounds a lot like The Mandalorian. Got a character carrying around a baby and trying to save the people that he comes across as he does. Well, that's The Mandalorian. Well, The Mandalorian's entertaining. I like The Mandalorian. And I like Wolverine a lot. And maybe him carrying around a baby Hulk and saving the day whenever given the opportunity might be a story worth checking out. So, I mean, if you're a fan of Wolverine, if you're a fan of Old Man Logan, if you're a fan of The Mandalorian, this might be a book you consider checking out this week. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier in this video, this is not an exciting week. This is not a great week at all, as is evidenced by my first 4 honorable mentions. So as I was going through this week's books, things were really exciting to me. So I thought, let me go to my list of books that I am going to be purchasing this week and at least get one honorable mention and my pick from that group. Just so you know, things that I am buying this week, I am buying Harley Quinn, the animated series, the Eat, Bang, Kill Tour, issue number 4. It's been fun and entertaining. I'm enjoying it. I'm also going to be getting Primordial, issue number 4. I've been liking Primordial a lot. People aren't talking about Primordial, which I still find very interesting because I think it's quite good. In fact, on League of Comic Geeks, they list their books in the order of what's been most pulled to what's been least pulled. This Primordial is the second highest indie book that's being pulled by people using League of Comic Geeks. So people are checking it out still at issue number 4. People are enjoying it, but nobody's talking about it. It's good. I like it. So I'm picking it up this week. The only book that's an indie that is more popular, more people are pulling it than Primordial is Berserker, issue number 6, which is a book that I am also going to be picking up this week, which I'm enjoying as well. And then, of course, there is New Burn, issue number 2 from Chip Zdarsky. I'm a Chip Zdarsky fan. I really liked issue number 1. It's a book that I'm picking up this week. But my last honorable mention is going to go to Demon Days, Rising Storm, issue number 1 from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. Mariko Yashida's journey through the mysterious forest of Kirisaki Mountain has brought her face to face with strange and terrible creatures. But she's about to be tested like never before when she crosses paths with literal gods. You won't want to miss this electrifying showdown in part 4 of 5 of the Demon Days saga by Peach Momoko. Okay, so the Demon Days saga from Peach Momoko so far has been entertaining. It's truly unique in that it's Peach Momoko's retelling or reimagining, I guess I should say, of the Marvel Universe through a lens of a very Japanese perspective. I've been enjoying it. I wish that the individual issues hadn't been spread out as much as they have been. But that being said, I have been enjoying them. So they've been on my pulls. Now the reason that I included this one as my official 5th honorable mention is because there's freaking Thor and Storm on the cover. Okay? So in this one, it seems like Mariko is going to be running across Thor and Storm. Thor and Storm are two of the coolest characters, in my opinion, in the Marvel universe. So I am really looking forward to seeing, and they are like literal gods, as it says in this description. So one of them at least is a literal god. The other one, was kind of playing God in her earliest origin. But regardless, they are two powerful gods of like thunder and lightning, or wielders of thunder and lightning. And I'm definitely interested in seeing where the story's going to go once you incorporate this level of character. So because I like Thor so much, and because I like Storm so much, I just had to make this my honorable mention. In fact, there was a lot of debate in my own head about whether or not this should be my just one book pick of the week, because I'm actually pretty excited about it. But I decided that I am just a little bit more excited about my pick that I'm about to tell you about right now. My just one book pick for this week is Hulk, issue number 2 from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. Smastronaut, Part 2. Bruce Banner finally has total control, with the Hulk locked away. But with a tight grip on his plans, Bruce forgot one thing. Variables can happen at any time. And this one? Even Bruce couldn't have imagined. The craziness continues as the Hulk hurtles further into space. But he is not alone out there. Okay, I picked this one because of kind of what is in this description right here. The craziness continues. Now, love him or hate him, Donny Cates was a golden boy there for a short period of time. Maybe not a short period of time, but for a period of time there, especially last year in 2020, with all the hype around Thor and Venom was so strong. Ever since Crossover came out, and people were really pumped up about Crossover when they were first hearing about that, it didn't deliver for people. And Thor and some of the spec on that didn't deliver for people. And now Venom is over. And people are less interested in Donny Cates. But Donny Cates is still really good. I like Donny Cates a lot, for a totally different reason than I like writers like James Tynion IV, for example. James Tynion IV is very intellectual, and he really makes me think. He really makes me have to process these characters' emotions and feelings and circumstances. Donny Cates just gives me super awesome, entertaining, badass comic books. Stuff that just makes me go, yes, this is so good. Oh, that's so awesome. And that first issue of Hulk was really, really good. I mentioned this when I talked about reading Hulk. I think I may have mentioned it in last week's video. I found it really, really enjoyable and really, really entertaining. I am not a Hulk fan at all. And this is a completely different type of Hulk story than anything I could have imagined for the Hulk. So I'm really interested in knowing where this story is going. What is going to happen in issue 2? When I think about the books that I'm going to be picking up this week, which one am I most excited to be ooh, what's going to happen next? What's the story here? And that excitement for me is for Hulk issue number 2. In addition, Donny Cates kind of has this habit of peppering in key type of elements in issues 2, 3, 5. you really kind of have to keep your eye out on Donny Cates on something new, because he's always kind of laying the groundwork for something that is truly new. He's not doing very much repeating of old stories. He's trying to find a new voice for each one of these titles. So you kind of have to pay attention to that. So once again, from a spec perspective, it's worth it to take a look at issue number 2, and I'll probably end up saying the same thing about issue number 3, possibly issue number 4, and likely issue number 5. But even just the spec potential, which is totally a gigantic question mark at this point, I am just excited about the awesomeness, I should say, potential of this title. And so that excitement on a week that is otherwise pretty lackluster is what motivated me to make Hulk issue number 2 my just one book pick for this week. All right, as always, let me know down in the comments what you think about this list. If you think I'm crazy for choosing Hulk number 2, or if I'm a genius, or if there's a book that I didn't mention that I should have mentioned, let me know all of this down in the comments. Also, once again, if you appreciate the time I take with these videos, likes are appreciated by me. I put out a bunch of content that I got from going to Los Angeles Comic-Con last weekend. I recommend checking out my day 1, 2, and 3 videos. Are they the best videos ever? No. But I also have interviews that are coming out, which I actually think have some pretty cool information in there. I would invite you to maybe give those a click and check them out. All right, that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching it. I'll see you in the next one.